Hello. Hello. I'll be right back. 1 second. I don't know if this shirt will work with my background because it blends in and my camera keeps on unfocusing. So give me a second. I need to change it. This shirt will work with my background because it blends in. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Production already looking better than Kyle Kalinske. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. Uh-oh. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. Focus. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Alright, so this is gonna be... Oh boy, my favorite show. This one's gonna be funny. This segment thing is gonna be funny then. I'll wait a little bit to do this one. We're thinking too much around here, guys. Big D over here saying some dumb stuff. Anti-pragmatic take right here. Tell you what. Anti-pragmatic. So we can keep that one. What's the other thing he made a tweet about? Calling Vaush anti-Semitic? What was that? Where is it? Right here. I didn't watch this yet. What is this? Vaush calls David Pakman a Zionist.
Can you do a shout out to Vaush's charity stream and Twitch raid? He's raised money for Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Hold on a second.
Spencer, thank you so much for $5 today. It's usually $2. Thank you. What's up, betas? Love the betas.
That rings a bell to me.
Okay, wait. So David Pakman, someone says
can you do a
him,
shout out to Vaush's charity stream and Twitch raid? He's raised money for Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Hold on a second. That rings a bell to me. Let me look that up. Yeah, Palestine Children's Relief Fund has been criticized due to its financial affiliation with the Holy Land Foundation, which was shut down for suspected funneling of donations.
anything called the Holy Land organization, I don't usually like. I don't like anything that is based around pure, like... That sounds like it's based around a religious zealotry.
Financial affiliation with the Holy Land Foundation, which was shut down for suspected funneling of donations to terrorist organizations. So no, that's not something I'm going to get involved in. That's not a good connection. Can you do a shout out to Vaush's charity?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Deepak is a Zionist. That's not surprising to me.
That's a little
Just
too
so you guys
much.
know, the source or like the assertion that he's referring to there is an old one, and it stems from like the charity has assisted children, and those children's
The Palestine Children's Relief Fund.
parents were associated with an organization associated with Hamas. We're talking like multiple layers deep. The problem is that Hamas is pretty broadly integrated into Palestine. They have their hands in a lot of things. I mean, they're
Oh yeah,
one-
by the way, 89 stars right here. Didn't he do a regular playthrough of M64 and then he went back to do a full run, like 100% completion? So at this point in the stream, this was probably like 25 hours into it, right? 25 hours straight being up staring at a
one of the
computer.
dominant power structures there, of course. So pretty much everything in Palestine is about 2 degrees of separation from Hamas, and people will use this as an excuse to label everything they don't like as terrorist sympathizers. And it's a way, essentially the legitimizing mechanism that allows Israel to do what it does over there.
That is true. Palestine Children's Relief Fund, charitynavigator.org. Non-political organization, 1991. Since our founding, over 800 children have been treated or are being accountability and transparency score. Seems pretty good according to this site. I mean, 4-star rating. 91 out of 100. Financial 87 out of 100. Accountability and transparency 100. Overall score is 91. Calling Pac-Man a Zionist isn't good, of course, but
Yeah, it's I think it's in an incredibly irresponsible mentality, and
didn't Vaush correct this after he said it though? So it's not like he just said that and let it fly. He corrected it like a second ago, or a second after. Yeah, it is misinformation clipped out of context. Hamas is pretty integrated into Palestine. They have their hands on a lot of yeah, no crap. Yeah, this is a problem. Yes, it is a problem. But you can't justify not helping children and killing children because of that at every turn with no proof of any issues. Like when Israel bombs a random roadway leading to a hospital and they say they're doing it to stop Hamas. Or like, I think so far, aren't there like 70 children casualties so far? And there's been like 10 total casualties in Israel, and like 250 total for the Palestinians. Vaush did correct himself. Basically half asleep. If anybody ever stayed up that long, once you're up for like 20... Oh boy, once you're up for... Yeah, probably 24 hours. I think there might actually be like metrics on this, but it's the equivalent to being drunk. How much sleep deprivation is equivalent to being drunk? One standout finding is that a lack of sleep affects the body in the same way drinking alcohol does. Research found that after 17 hours without sleep, our alertness is similar to the effects of a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05%, which according to U.S. law is considered impaired on the legally drunk scale. So at that point, Vaush is at 26 hours. So what would that be compared to? After 24 hours without sleeping, the body is in the same state it'd be with a blood alcohol level of 0.1%, well beyond the 0.08% BAC blood alcohol level that identifies somebody as legally drunk. So at that point, if Vaush would have hopped into a car or whatever, he would be worse off than somebody who was actually illegally drunk. So like a legally drunk driver. Equivalent to 0.1%. And he was at 26 hours. So that's 2 hours after whenever this study was conducted. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's all it says. And this is according to the CDC. Or no, how many adults are affected by chronic sleep disorder was from the CDC. This is from a study in the UK. HuffPost. I gotta sleep better. I don't sleep good at all. I sleep real bad. I'm really bad at sleeping. I guess we could talk about the dumb Destiny take about Katie Porter. He should use a breathalyzer before streaming. How would you measure that? Can a cop actually do that? Like, how long were you up so far, sir? You look so tired. Were you gaming too late? It's illegal. It's actually against the U.S. Constitution to stay up too late playing video games and to drive after doing that because you're impaired at the same level as somebody is when they're drunk. It's actually against the U.S. Constitution. We got to make an amendment for gamers. We got to stop these people. These gamers are putting people in danger. Disgusting. Communism direct control. True. What's up, Josh T? What's up, Co? What's up, Cockeyed Rooster Hank? CSMRO. Vaush retracted his statement calling him a Zionist minutes later. Too strong of a word. Well, Pac-Man has sided with Israel in his recent takes and his historical takes, hasn't he? Like, pretty strongly with Israel. .9 and over is impaired. Cool. Okay, this is a dumb tweet. Let me start the record button. So if I talked to Destiny about this, we would probably agree because I'm right. And whenever somebody else is right, he needs to agree. So he says here, garbage content by garbage/uneducated Congress people for garbage/uneducated Twitter losers. ZZZ. Sleep emoji. So let's watch this clip real quick.
Mr. Gonzalez, how much did AbbVie spend on litigation and settlements from 2013 to 2018?
I don't have that number offhand. I won't be happy to give it to you.
Okay, $1.6 billion, $2.45 billion on R&D, $1.6 billion in litigation and settlements. What about marketing and advertising? How much does AbbVie spend on that?
Well, marketing and advertising, we spend about $4 billion a year.
Yep, 4.7, 1 billion. How about executive compensation, 2013 to 2018?
2013 to 2018, it's probably on average about $60 million a year.
Try 334 on for size. Now, how much did AbbVie spend on stock buybacks and stock buybacks and dividends to enrich your shareholders from 2013?
Why is his name OmniLiberal? Because he gets banned like every 2 weeks from Twitter for like tweeting like a 10-year-old gamer, basically.
Well, stock buybacks, if you actually look at just pure stock buybacks, it would be about $13 billion.
Stock buybacks and dividends is the question, sir.
Dividends, I'd have to come back with a number for that over that period of time.
$50 billion. So, Mr. Gonzalez, you're spending all this money to make sure you make money rather than spending money to invest in, develop drugs, and help patients with affordable life-saving drugs.
All right, so it's pretty simple what Katie Porter is doing here. Katie Porter woke up in 2020, actually no, 2021, and she said, you know what, this year, in 2021, I'm going to focus on being more rhetorically effective. Or was this from 2020? I don't know. But she woke up one day and she said, I'm going to practice being more rhetorically effective this year. So she's like, wait, what is politics about? Is politics about attracting internet debate bros? Or is it about convincing people to support your policies in a way that actually matters? What is politics actually about? Some may say actually convincing people to come to your side. And I know Destiny agrees with that. Here, let me read the super chat quick. That's a big one. Thank you so much for $20. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, CSMRO. I had to stop. That was a beefy one. Okay, so Hans Farkir, a friend of the show, said down here, I am confused. It seems her issue is the pharma company's justification of price increases. It is not misleading, or is it not misleading for a company to say passive, Jesus, Passive. Massive price. I misspoke. That's a big misspeak. All right, we have to start. Okay, we have to start this one over. Passive. That's my new word. Here, I'm gonna pin it to the chat. Passive. Passive. Here you go. Passive. What a good word. Wait, pin. Pin. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so Hans of Harkir, friend of the show, he said, I am confused. It seems her issue is the pharma company's justification for price increases. Is it not misleading for a company to say massive price increases are because of R&D rather than stock buybacks and dividends? This person said, stock buybacks and dividends are paid out of the profit you earn. It has no relation to pricing at all. So I would say it's super misleading. Dividends are not a cost of doing business, it's the end goal. And I just said, isn't her argument instead of more buybacks and increasing prices, they could have just instead used the extra capital for R&D. In the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, over 65% of the tax cuts actually went to stock buybacks and nothing that's effective for growth, nothing to workers or anything like that. These companies are trying to justify price increases in ways that do not make sense regardless. Let's see. Where's this person's other message? How does Twitter work? How do you work Twitter? Does anybody know? Why can't I remember short conversations? That's another one to ask. Quibbles over coffee is a liberal, by the way. This one? Is this how you use Twitter? Passive. Light mode. True. I can't find this other person. Here. This one. I clicked on this. Now I want to see our conversation. So how do I see our conversation on here? Because we had a conversation. I can't find it. This one? No. Anyway. I know, I don't know how to use Twitter. Anyway, I know the argument that, true, yeah. The argument that Destiny is making is essentially what's agreed upon in economics. The idea that corporations are amoral. If the government gives them enough capital to do stock buybacks, they are going to do that. You cannot expect companies to use all of their extra money for R&D or to give money to consumers or to lower prices or even keep prices the same if they have extra capital. You cannot expect companies to do that. So instead of moralizing these problems to the companies, you have to blame the policies. So you have to blame the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act for stock buybacks. You can't blame the company for doing that. Don't moralize the company. But what Katie Porter is doing here is a pragmatic, rhetorical tool that she's using to convince people to feel passionate about a policy. It's okay to moralize it if you have people reaching the right conclusion. So she's essentially pointing out here, hey, we gave a lot of money to these companies that they are not efficiently using. It would be better if this money was being used in some type of public entity for good instead of being given to private corporations to buy back their stock. That's the argument she's making. She is saying the tax cuts were bad, but it doesn't work rhetorically. It doesn't work for voters. It doesn't work to get people to care about a policy, to go up there and say, we need a specific instrument to make sure the money is allocated in a different area because of the policy failure of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Corporations are actually amoral. Corporations are amoral actors in economic system. Like, that stuff doesn't work. The way she points it out on the board, all that stuff, a visual representation. This is how you get people to care about issues. Now, Destiny just had on Louis Rossman, who is really involved in right to repair. I think a lot of people here care about that policy. I think it's a good thing to care about. So right to repair is the right for like farmers to repair their tractors and for you to repair your iPhones and all that stuff. Go check out that video on Destiny's channel. But Destiny actually said to Louis Rossman, it doesn't matter if you have the right argument. You can have the right argument all day. You can have the facts all day. It doesn't matter. It matters if you can actually convince enough people to care about your policy in a way that actually pressures policy to change. And that's all she's doing here. Okay, I am cold. I have to go shut off my... I gotta go shut my air conditioner off. I'm freezing. Heart Reagan. What's the thing that Hutch commented? So Hutch comments wrong Stinny. And... Oh, I can't read that. That's too small. Listing her degrees and stuff. Even more embarrassing for her to be so clueless about these issues then. This is such a dumb thing to say, dude. Holy crap. This is what I mean, dude. Like, when you have socialists who are too married to their ideologies, or when you have, like... And this is for live streamers. This is for all of them. When you have liberals or socialists or anybody that cares about an economic system or anybody that cares about like rejecting certain ideologies so much, if you have people who are too married to these emotional positions, you're not going to get good takes out of them. And they're not going to care about like how the real implications are going to play out. I don't know how to read Minecraft enchanting table. Thanks, Black Paint. What's our deal? What's your main argument here? That if there's no need to spend more on R&D, they should just return more of their profits to their shareholders? Why not increase spending on R&D, take more risks, and create newer and better products? Because then they will be beaten out by corporations, or by companies that return more to their shareholders. Pumping money into unpromising R&D scares investors away and kills that company. No better products, just a failed company that can't do any good because it died. But if you're going to do a hardcore policy analysis of everything, you can't even talk about this. There's a thing called a policy stream that we talk about in public policy. Where is it? It's a model that they use to analyze things because academics are annoying. Policy stream model. Where is it at? Trying to find it. Passive praxis. Soviet Russia. All hail Russia. The true socialist empire of workers' rights. Here you go. Let me get this full screen. Oh, come on. I thought this was going to be a good example, but it's not letting me. All right, can you guys read this? Can you read this right here? Is this big enough? This. Yes. So this is called the policy streams model. So there are problems that need to be solved. Policies are introduced to solve these problems, and then there is the actual political arena in which you need to like apply pressure to make policy get passed and everything. So when there is a problem, like say high drug prices, policies are going to be introduced to fix these problems. Now, although your policy might be something very technical and very complicated, you're not going to actually sell your policy that way to the public. Within the policy area right here, you have policy entrepreneurs. That's what they're called. You can say policy advocates. You could say policy activists. This can be Greta Thunberg. What is her name? I don't even know. This can be Andrew Yang with the UBI. This can be her with climate change. This can be AOC and Bernie with Medicare for All. This can be an actor. This can be an actress. This could be anybody. This could be any celebrity. Anybody that has any sway over public opinion is going to be working within the policy window as policy entrepreneurs to try and sell that policy to the public and to try and sway public opinion. So what Katie Porter is doing here is she's acting as a policy entrepreneur. And when you act as a policy entrepreneur, you get political capital by getting people mad about something in which you can use within the political realm. So you need to get people mad about certain things to change it through policy. How do you get people mad about drug prices? You don't get them mad and emotional by saying corporations are amoral actors and it's a complicated economic topic. You do get them mad and wanting to do something about something by saying corporations are evil and they are being dishonest. And by the way, they are being dishonest about why they are using certain capital where they are using it. But you need to make people mad about it. You really do. That's how people vote. People vote based off social groups. They vote based off cultural reasons. They vote based off of emotions. Very few people actually vote off of policy analysis. Very few people vote off of rational policy decisions. So you have to play on. As sad as it is, politics is hard, politics is difficult. You have to use different tactics to get people to the right conclusions. And you have to use these tactics to get people to support your policies. And that's what she's doing here. And calling her dumb is just, it's really stupid. But he knows that. We all know he knows that. It's Twitter. He wants to be mad at the lefties or I don't know. She's actually one of the progressives who can win in a moderate district, who can get support with moderates and Republicans, which is interesting. Have fun not being effective in politics, I guess. There were a couple PragerU videos that kind of freaked me out. These aren't like regular PragerU videos. So although they are currently failing, PragerU is trying to like copy BuzzFeed. They're trying to make a children's platform. They're trying to make, like I said, a BuzzFeed platform for like teenagers or whatever. So they have this video here. I already watched it. I don't know why.
Everyone
How to
talks
Deal
about
with
being
Peer pressure.
big.
So I'm not going to actually go through this one, but it's like a normal BuzzFeed video where they sprinkle in propaganda
your life.
throughout it. And they don't just make this BuzzFeed content. Up here, they make cartoons.
Did
And
you
these
know?
cartoons, I didn't see this one yet, but these cartoons are actually on YouTube Kids. So children are being recommended this after watching a kids show on YouTube. So they're being recommended very far right-wing propaganda at a very young age. And YouTube Kids is letting this happen. Now, this is a cartoon about Lilo and Layla meeting Ronald Reagan, the 40th president of the United States, and they learn how he brought an end to the Cold War. So this is a kids show, a kids cartoon ran by PragerU, in which they teach children how Reagan helped end the Cold War. I know teachers who work in middle schools, high schools, elementary schools, and they all say there are some of our colleagues who use PragerU videos. So PragerU is taking a very multifaceted approach to try and spread their propaganda. And I know Netanyahu just on behalf of the Israeli government actually just put up a PragerU video as well. I think Hassan put up a video about that. So yeah, PragerU. Interesting. Ronald Reagan.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, Layla.
Why are you pulling down our neighbor's fence?
Today, this is not a fence.
Oh, yeah? Then what is
Tear down that wall.
our neighbor's fence?
Today, this is not a fence.
Oh, yeah? Then what is it?
It's the Berlin Wall, and I'm Ronald Reagan, our 40th president.
And I guess that means you're here to tear down the Berlin Wall?
You got it. I'm gonna set the East Berliners free.
Leo, I'm pretty sure that our neighbors aren't from East Berlin.
Well, they are today.
Whatever you say, Leo.
Did you know that Ronald Reagan was one of our most popular presidents?
Of course I knew that.
And did you know he was California's governor before he was president?
Well, duh. Did you know that he started out as an actor? He starred in over 50 movies.
Yeah, and he wasn't
Look at an economic analysis of Reagan's presidency, and that'll tell you all you need to know about Reagan. Oh my God, dude. He began a trend for some of the worst economic policies in American history, dude. With the freaking Laffer curve starting with that, with oh my God, the trickle down, the inflation under him.
just an
Oh my
actor
God.
either.
You can tell he was an actor for sure.
In over 50 movies.
Yeah, and he wasn't just an actor either. He was in the military during World War II.
You know what? He was actually great at a lot of stuff. He played college football.
He was
Oh my
also on the
God.
swim team.
He ran track, too.
Plus, he was student body president.
And he was totally handsome.
Literal.
Ew, gross.
What the heck, Leo?
Boy, I sure wish I could have met Ronald Reagan.
Well, why can't you?
Because he passed away in 2004 when he was 93 years old. I wasn't even born yet, and now I'll never get to meet him.
Geez, Leo, don't be so dramatic. We can just use my new time travel app to go meet him.
Really?
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
You just tap here and away we go. But let me get the settings right before you do that.
Ronald Reagan, here I come.
Ronald Reagan, here I come. Oh no. What's happening?
Wow, is this what West Berlin looks like? Layla, look at that wall. It's huge. Hey, wait, where's Layla?
What the heck? Where am I? Oh, great. Thanks, Leo. I better go find
Good
him.
comedy. Good
I can't
comedy.
believe I actually went back in time. Maybe I'll really get to meet Ronald Reagan.
Did someone say my name?
Wow.
Who is worse in your opinion, Trump or Reagan? Nixon. Nixon actually, low-key, Republicans in the 70s set the ground for the past 40 years more than Reagan did. That's my hot take or whatever. I know people blame Reagan for everything, but I think the start of I think Nixon is really the big issue. The first reaction to the civil rights movement is what set the stage for the past 40, 50 years. Not really. I mean, Reagan was obviously one of the biggest figureheads of that movement. But anyway.
You're really President Reagan. Nice to meet you. I'm Leo, and I came here from the future. What are you doing here?
Oh,
Ni-
the Nixon tapes were probably the least of what I'm talking
Nice
about.
to meet you. I'm Leo, and I came here from the future. What are you doing here?
Nice to meet you, Leo. I'm here in Berlin to stop the communists.
Why does he have... Oh my... I'm here in Berlin to stop the communists. Why does he have red eyes?
and end the Cold War?
Oh, man. All this talk about communists is making me hungry.
Well, Leo, communism makes everyone hungry.
All this talk about... Oh my goodness. All this talk about communism is making me hungry.
People living under communism are often poor and don't have enough money for food. That's why we have to stop it.
I guess you're
This is on YouTube, kids.
right, but can we have a snack?
Oh, here. Are you a parent or educator? Join PragerU's new PrEP program and gain exclusive access to our online forum of pro-America resources, support, and tools that can rescue your child's education.
First, I brought jelly beans.
Leo, thank you. That's my favorite snack.
It's too bad Layla isn't here to have some too. Hey, Mr. Reagan, can I ask you some questions?
Of course you can, Leo.
Why did they build the Berlin Wall in Germany?
That's a good question. We're in West Berlin, which is the free side of Germany. On the other side of the wall is East Berlin, which is occupied by the Soviet
He's gonna really stress communist. He's gonna try to tie it back as much as he can to like modern day left movements,
Union.
I'm assuming.
The Soviet Union, which is communist, built this wall during the Cold War to keep people locked in East Berlin and stop them from going to freedom in West Berlin.
We sure are lucky to be on this side.
You're right about that, Leo.
Why is it called the Cold War anyway? It doesn't seem that cold.
It's not because of cold weather. It's called the Cold War because we were able to end the war without using any weapons.
A war with no shooting or bombs? How did you do that?
Well, everyone was afraid that the United States and the Soviet Union were going to shoot nuclear bombs at each other, but thankfully, that never happened.
A nuclear bomb would have been
I
terrible.
recommend a movie called Dr. Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove. So it's also titled How I Learned to Love the Bomb. And it's a really good dark comedy. Or I think it's called black comedy. That's what you should be calling it. It's a black comedy. That's the historically correct way to label it. But they like show a really good representation of how like the Cold War showed how much humans love purchasing tools of destruction and all that stuff.
Terrible. That's the biggest kind of bomb there is.
You're absolutely right, Leo. That's why we signed the INF.
Oh, I see.
I don't know what year that movie came out. I could look it up.
Wait, what's the INF?
The INF stands for Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Both our countries agreed to sign.
Imagine your 5-year-old sitting there on the iPad you gave them because you don't want to actually take care of your 5-year-old, and they're just going through kids YouTube, and you hear the words Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty.
The treaty, so we didn't have
from
to
Ronald Reagan, who has red eyes.
use our bombs.
Is that all it took to end the Cold War?
Well, no, Leo. We also used our economy to win.
Economy? Isn't that money stuff? That sounds really complicated.
It's really very simple, Leo. We used a program called Reaganomics to make our economy strong. We cut taxes so that the government took less of people's hard-earned money away from them, and that led to more people getting jobs.
Blech. I don't want a job. I hate work.
This is
My sister
painful.
Layla has a job after school, but I like to play after school.
Well, Leo, when you grow up, getting a job
What a
and
little communist.
working hard is part of being responsible. I'm sure your sister is working hard
Personal responsibility.
to find you right now. Thanks to everyone working hard, the United States economy was so big that the Soviet Union couldn't keep up.
You are amazing, Mr. Reagan.
There I am.
You saved everyone's lives and made them better at the same time.
Well, thank you, Leo, but the job isn't done yet. We still have one more thing to do. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yeah, freedom for everyone.
There you are, Leo. I've been looking for you everywhere. What have you been up to?
Hi, Layla. You just missed it. President Reagan and I tore down the real Berlin Wall.
Ugh, I can't believe I missed it. You need to be careful when you time travel. My phone battery is almost empty, and we need to get back before it's too late.
Okay, Layla. Let me say goodbye to Ronald Reagan first, though. Bye, Mr. President. It was nice meeting you. Thanks for beating the communists.
Goodbye, Leo, and remember this. It's never too late to fight for freedom.
Here we go, Leo.
Yay, we're back! Layla, you should have been there when Ronald Reagan told them to tear down the Berlin Wall. It was super fun.
It's okay, Leo. I got to do a lot of fun things in the past, too.
Like what?
Glad you asked, Leo.
Ever feel bad for H.W. Bush? He really took the fall for Reagan's economic plans because if anybody remembers, I know I was born in 2000, so I wasn't there, but Bush made a bunch of promises on the campaign trail because he was Reagan's VP. His big promise was, didn't he say, like, read from my lips, I will not increase taxes? But because of Reagan's terrible Reaganomics and trickle-down economics, Bush had no choice. He had no choice but to raise taxes during his presidency because of how unsustainable the current programs were.
Well, I went to the White House and met Nancy Reagan, the First Lady, and I learned all about their program to keep kids off
Dude,
drugs.
she has pink hair. Do you really think Nancy Reagan would even look at her? Oh my goodness. Back in those days, pink hair. Oh, she would not be allowed near the White House. Are you kidding me?
Just say
He has
no.
blue hair. These are obviously two college SJW losers.
You got that right. Plus, I went to the Supreme Court and visited one of my role models, Justice Sandra
Thank
Day.
you so much for $5, Spencer. So where's the Robert E. Lee was amazing YouTube Kids version? Yeah, the pro-slavery video by PragerU. Where is it?
O'Connor.
I don't know.
Who was that?
She was the first woman on the Supreme Court. She's proof that anyone can become what they want in America. And guess who appointed her?
I have no idea.
Reagan.
I'll give you a hint. He really likes jelly beans.
Ronald Reagan did that too?
Oh, he likes jelly
I'm so
beans.
glad I got to meet him. Hey, Layla, do you think that I could grow up to be like Reagan?
Of course you can. When
Yeah,
Ronald
there's no love for Thatcher.
Reagan was your
Why
age,
not?
his family didn't even have plumbing or running water. But you'll have to work hard if you want to be like him.
You bet I will.
Great. Now why don't you start by fixing that fence before Mom and Dad get home?
This is scary. I don't know. I don't know what to do. They're gonna take over. Our children are gonna be talking about killing communism out of the womb. PragerU is gonna send electrical signals into pregnant women and make the baby hear anti-liberal propaganda. It's gonna be the voice of Ronald Reagan saying "tear down that wall" 5,000 times into the baby's ears. Oh my goodness, I'm scared. The first word of every child is gonna be or not Antifa. It's gonna be what is the first word gonna be? Like American exceptionalism. That's gonna be the kid's first sentence. Something like that. Very funny. I made a really funny joke right there. I hope everybody's laughing because I'm laughing. I am. The Brits aren't American. True. That is a fact. Okay, so we just got done with this YouTube Kids video by PragerU. Time to go to video number 2. This one is really fun too, I guarantee you. Let's see. Otto's Tales. I skimmed through this. All right. The Little Red Hen. Little Red Hen. So I talked about this a second ago before we watched the other one, but PragerU is dumping a bunch of kids' cartoons full of propaganda. They're dumping this into YouTube Kids, and apparently YouTube Kids is recommending this to children. Luckily, PragerU's attempts to go mainstream, their attempts are not working. So they have a couple children videos. Down here, they have a hip podcast, and they also have a BuzzFeed wannabe video. So it's like a BuzzFeed, like Jubilee, I don't know, like how to deal with peer pressure. Top 5 ways to deal with peer pressure. So this is another children's cartoon right here.
Welcome to Otto's Tales. Storytime brought to you by Prep.
God, I'm so happy. I personally know teachers who use PragerU on children. Like I think a 7th grade teacher that uses PragerU.
Use resources for educators and parents. Otto! Good boy! There you are. I'm Jill, and today I'm going to share a funny story about someone small who asked her friends for help, but didn't get it. It's called The Little Red Hen.
Uh-oh.
Once upon a time, there was a little red hen who was walking down the road and saw a grain of wheat in her path. Little Red Hen was small and young, but had a big idea. She picked up the grain and went back to her farm to ask a few of the other animals for help. "Who will help me plant this wheat?" she said. "Not me,"
Guarantee
said the dog.
you, every animal is going to say no. All the animals are going to be liberals who are on welfare. They are freeloaders.
"Not me," said the cat. "Not
The red
me."
hen is a classic, traditional American working class hero. You know, we have to make sure we do not give freeloaders free food. They all want to work and they don't want to eat. How dare they?
"Hey," said the pig.
Thank you so much for $5, Cockeyed Rooster. Pretty soon the GOP will be goose-stepping in front of portraits of Reagan, Nixon, and Trump. Yeah, cults of personality. That's all they have. I mean, they need to talk about these concepts in cartoons right here for a reason. They need to be really simple and emotional to get, political power. I mean, did you see that McCloskey is running? So McCloskey is that guy. He's that one really rich guy, and he's running as a working class hero. I think I retweeted something about it. Yeah, here. Mark McCloskey will announce his bid for U.S. Senate tonight on Tucker. I guess I'll do a video on this. So yeah, all you have to do to become like a prominent right-wing politician is like hold a gun out against like BLM protesters and say you are anti-BLM and be a white supremacist, and they will love you. You can now run for anything you want, baby. Anything you want. He's now a national hero. The same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse.
Not me, said
And
the
anybody
turkey.
else who wants to step up
Then
to
I'll
the plate.
do it myself, said Little Red Hen. Cluck, cluck. She planted the grain of wheat in the sun and watered it every day. The wheat began to sprout, and soon it grew into a tall, strong, and ripe stalk of wheat. Who will help me cut this wheat? She asked her friends. Not me, said the dog. Not me, said the cat. Not me, said the pig. Not me, said the turkey. Then I'll do it myself, said Little Red Hen. Cluck, cluck. So she cut the wheat all by herself. Little Red Hen was now very tired. That was a lot of work. Who will help me take this wheat to the mill to be ground into flour?
By the way, there is no way that 1,000 children pressed like on this video. There's no way out of 5,000 views that 1 out of 5 children, little kids, decided to press like on the video. And there's no way parents did it for their kids. I don't believe it.
She asked her friends, hoping for some help this time. Not me, said the dog. Not me, said the cat. Not me, said the pig. Not me, said the turkey. Little Red Hen said, then I'll do it myself. Cluck, cluck. She took it to the mill and soon came back with the flour, all by herself. Who will help me bake this flour? She asked. Not me, said the dog. Not me, said the cat. Not me, said the pig. Not me, said the turkey.
So, of course, in this video, they are trying to teach children that everybody who isn't currently employed working 80 hours a week, all these people are simply lazy and they are freeloaders. PragerU needs things to be really simple, and conservative propaganda in general needs things to be really simple, like in a format for kids, because it's really complicated how real life works. So, for example, where I'm from, individual responsibility, like they try to talk about here, isn't going to dictate everything. The environment you grow up in plays a big role into the outcomes of yourself as an individual. But they don't want to talk about these complex topics. They just want to keep it like this. Very simple. If you work, if you are a bootlicker, if you are willing to be exploited by a big corporation, then you are a hard worker. But if you reject that system whatsoever, then you are a freeloader. That's what they want to tell people, but that isn't the reality. Conservative propaganda does the heavy lifting for big companies like Amazon, who pay their employees crap wages and get away with it, and people are just fine with it. Even during this very tight labor market, conservative voters don't understand the power that laborers have, that workers actually have, to get higher wages, even during this tight labor market. And we are seeing companies like Sheetz, McDonald's, Walmart, Lowe's, they are upping their wages because they can't find good workers because of the tight labor market. The market is adjusting somewhat, but of course, propaganda like this helps to make sure people don't actually stand up and ask for a change at all. And it really sucks too, because I'm from a rural area, as most of you know, rural progressive gang. And many people here suffer from alcoholism. Many people do. In Pennsylvania, I think we have the top rates of alcoholism in the country. But many people here suffer from alcoholism, and they suffer here from the opioid epidemic. Now, this brings up another debate about, is addiction a disease? Now, that shows a lot about conservative ideology right there. Many conservatives don't want to admit addiction is a disease because they don't want to admit there are environmental factors that might play into, big pharmacy companies dumping addictive painkillers into areas like mine and getting everybody hooked on them. They don't want to admit that's even a thing. So I want to make another video on that because I think that's somewhere progressives can actually get some work done, getting people to trust them. But with the opioid epidemic and all this stuff, they just don't want to admit environmental factors are real. It's really sad. Actually, imagine that. Imagine growing up in a really poor area with no opportunity. You grow up poor, no opportunity. You work your ass off your entire life. Your family, alcoholics. Your cousin gets on pills from these big pharma companies. These big pharma companies are mocking people like you. There are so many articles and reports out of big pharma CEOs laughing at people who are ODing, laughing at Kentucky, laughing at New Hampshire, laughing at Pennsylvania, laughing at everybody that goes to a pill mill and gets prescribed a medication that they don't know at first, but this medication that will destroy their lives. So these people grow up in poor areas, work their asses off, these white working class people, and then they believe propaganda that says essentially don't fight for any better conditions because it's all up to personal responsibility. Really depressing, man.
I will then, said Little Red Hen. She was now feeling very confident about
Animal Farm TLDR.
all the hard work she had done. She mixed the flour and baked it into a warm and delicious loaf of bread. The other animals noticed and came running to her side. Little Red Hen noticed them too. Who will eat this bread? She wondered out loud. Me, said the dog. Me, said the cat. Me, said the pig. Me, said the turkey. No, said Little Red Hen. Me, I will. And she ate up the loaf of bread all by herself. Cluck, cluck. The end. This funny tale is one of our favorites because it reminds us of the
the values of hard work.
values of self-reliance and working hard.
Self-reliance. That's a good word for children.
Even if no one else will help you. Depending on ourselves to take responsibility for difficult work brings great success and in the end, big rewards. The animals who didn't want to share in the work didn't earn any bread. And in America, we believe that everyone can do good, hard work to earn what they want and need in life. Isn't that right, Otto? Do you believe in hard work? Yes, good boy. Thank you for watching
Who's in here? Who is the person dressed up as the dog?
Otto's Tales. Check out
Is
some
this a furry?
of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep working hard. Bye.
Aw. So cute. If you see a poor person, they are disgusting. They don't want to work. If they are addicted to drugs, they chose to be addicted to drugs. Addiction is not a disease. If they grew up poor, it doesn't matter. In America, everybody has the same exact, even chances to be successful. If they fail, it's because of individual responsibility. If you fail, it's because of individual responsibility. That's what you got to know. 100%. I'll tell you what. I know so many people who work 40 to 50 hours a week, making $30,000 a year, who blame all of their problems on poor people and immigrants. I know so many people who do this. It's laughable. It's really pathetic. But how do we break that cycle is the big question here, right? People don't vote on class issues. People vote on culture issues. People vote on social issues. So how do I make a bunch of racist white people from the middle of nowhere, from old manufacturing and coal mining towns and steel towns and all that stuff, how do I make these people vote in their own class interest? How do I do it? How can I get that done without the culture war interfering? This propaganda here is so easy to sell. Not everybody is going to understand a sociological explanation for how society works. The progressive version would be about how the hen hoards the seeds and equipment and makes it difficult for the other animals to work or whatever. Or you can make a story about, like, I don't know, the owner of the animals gives the animals like a drug and says, hey, this will help you do better. And the animals get hooked on heroin and it becomes a dark film, a cartoon about the opioid epidemic. We could do that, make that cartoon. It is a big question. I don't know how to do it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's Dennis Prager in the suit. He's into that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Crowder, Ben Shapiro, all these arguments are so easy to make. That's why, as I was talking about earlier, Katie Porter, I know Destiny got mad at her for what she said here in her argument about, like, why drug companies are bad. I know he got mad at her for this, But you need to be able to play politics. You need to be able to win in the war of information and communications. You need to be able to make very concise, very simplified arguments that draw upon emotional responses. And you could do this with the opioid epidemic and all that stuff. But it is difficult. You know, people who make less than 30K a year who blame illegals for taking benefits from them. It's crazy how some people think. Yeah, and all the rich people have all the money. So I think, isn't it like 90% of Americans? It's literally 90% of Americans pay in less in taxes than they receive through like roads, bridges, policing, fire departments, keeping the air clean, sending kids to school, funding prisons and all that stuff. 90% of Americans are technically freeloaders, if you really want to use that term. So like when a regular American says, I don't want to pay for this foreign aid or whatever, they're not paying for crap. If we really want to get all free market on them and talk about the real economic fluctuations here, who's giving money where? All the red states that preach self-reliance and responsibility, all these red states are big drains on the federal budget because they don't produce any economic output. Good night, Cockeyed Rooster. Have a good one. Where are my taxes going, Biden? Are they going to the gender programs in Pakistan? What? The gender... What? Gender programs? Really? Are you kidding me right now? I bet you're going to give the other money to the illegals. Yeah, taxes don't actually fund federal spending. Yeah, but if you want to go with the actual like numbers of it, yeah. But you can't really explain all of that. Even for like state and local taxes, I'm pretty sure that applies. The rich people pay for everything, basically. All right, big announcement. Is anybody excited? Is everybody excited about this? I personally am going to move to, where is he? I don't know. McCloskey. Is it Louisiana, right? Because it was a Breonna Taylor protest. So anybody who is aggressively anti-BLM, who is aggressively pro-white and pro-nationalism, any of these people can become cult heroes to right-wingers. So whether it's Kyle Rittenhouse, whether it's like Donald Trump, Nixon, Reagan, all these people become immortalized into this right-wing cult of personality. Now, McCloskey here is the really rich man from the suburbs who brought the gun out, and him and his wife came out with those, they both had pistols, right? I forget. But anyway, they both were brandishing firearms at the protesters that were walking and trying to find, was it like a mayor or something, or like a representative? I forget exactly who it was. But anyway, he stood up and said, I fought against the protest. So right here, an angry mob marched to destroy my home and kill my family. Kill my family. I took a stand to defend them. In reality, BLM protesters were literally walking in front of his house. Him and his wife freaked out. Honey, the blacks are outside. And they got their guns and made sure to make themselves known, I guess. When the mob comes to destroy our home, our state, our nation, I will never back down. Help me fight back.
When the angry mob came to destroy my house and kill my family, I took a stand against them. Now I'm asking for the privilege to take that.
His stand was literally him stumbling outside without his glasses on his front porch, like looking around like this, like where are, like holding his, like that was his stand. It was being afraid of black people. Literally, that was his stand. Like nothing else. He didn't do anything at all.
Stand for all of us. I will never back down.
I appreciate all of our short men, by the way, but this like 5'6" pampered lawyer dude from the suburbs is gonna stand up for the white working class of this country.
Will never back down. Our nation is under attack. Big tech, big business, the swamp in D.C.
And the same narrative, everybody's under attack, be scared, straight white men, make sure you don't talk, they're gonna come cancel you, all that stuff. You need to make sure that all the white people in our country are definitely afraid that they are going to be replaced.
Are all working together to destroy our God-given freedom.
There's a big conspiracy with all these groups.
The swamp in D.C. are all working together to destroy our God-given freedom, our culture, and our heritage.
Did you guys see the Space Force commander, or whatever they call them, that got kicked out because he went on a book tour talking about how Marxism was infiltrating the military? Which, by the way, the military voted like 70% Trump, didn't they? Yeah, so he said Marxism is taking over the military. Literal McCarthy era type shit. Crazier than McCarthy, by the way. If you look back when that one guy stood up and said to McCarthy, "Do you have no decency, sir?" You know, things right now in the Republican Party are, oh my God, neo-McCarthyism is so much worse than the original, than the OG. Our culture, our heritage.
Defended you, defended America, stood between you and the mob. We need defenders. But all we get is dividers. Every day they teach us to hate each other, left versus right, black versus white.
Bro, you can't talk about defending our heritage and our culture against the other and then talk about uniting like you're like a guest on Rising or something. You're gonna be like filling in for Sagar one day, and you and Crystal Ball are talking about like enlightened centrism. You can't do that. You can't do that to us.
Rich versus poor. This is a tactic to destroy us. But we are all Americans. We are Missourians.
Yeah, what are you
Our
defending
nation,
against?
Our state, our homes are worth defending. Our freedoms.
Wow, dude, he must have bought a new house somewhere that wasn't in a gated suburb, like, or in a gated community. I shouldn't say suburb. I was saying suburb before. It's much worse than a suburb. It's a gated community. He's out here in the woods right now acting like he actually does manual labor.
Are worth defending. I can promise you one thing, that when the mob comes to destroy our homes...
And what is he gonna do? Like, when the mob comes, the big scary mob comes to take our homes, what is he gonna do? Just, like, say stuff that's really racist? Is he personally gonna come out with his handgun and, like, defend us?
Our state and our country
I will
too. Defend them.
He
I
will
never back down.
Look at this look right here. Unbuttoned. I'm sorry for pausing so much, but this commercial has so much amazing content in it. So this guy's shirt, unbuttoned, the cross necklace, powerful. Powerful. Freshly dyed hair. Oh my. Oh yeah.
Our state and our country, I will defend them. I will never back down. My name is Mark McCloskey, and I'm running for the United States Senate to defend our homes, the great state of Missouri, and this great nation.
You can tell the difference between like a ultra-nationalist running and a conservative running, between what they say they want to defend. A regular conservative will probably say, I want to defend our Constitution. But I don't think he said Constitution once. He is instead talking about culture and heritage. Because for a normal conservative, the Constitution represents that. You know, the Constitution is the traditionalism for a normal conservative. But for this guy, he's not a conservative. He's much more to the authoritarian right of a regular like Mitt Romney type. So he's not going to talk about the Constitution. He doesn't care. It's culture. It's heritage. It's being anti-BLM. That's what he's going to be talking about here.
I have always been a Republican, but I've never wanted to run for office. When the fascist mob came to my door,
oh, and he's calling the BLM people, protesters, peaceful protesters, fascist.
I saw what the future of America will be.
Hey, bro, let's go find a random house that is suffering from blight and take a picture of it. Let's go take pictures of random houses and just say, this bad thing right here was caused by BLM.
If we don't all stand up right now and defend our rights, mark my word.
Cori Bush, pray for the Lou. Kimberly Gardner, Black Lives Matter. Yeah, these are signs that really freak me out. Thank you for defending us. I mean, the signs are almost taller than him.
The mob is coming for all of us. Cancel.
No, I don't want to write a tweet about this. What? Bro.
Critical race theory.
No.
The lie of systemic racism, backed up by the threat of mob violence, attacks on the
number one response to critical race theory is saying, like Vaush did to Temple, say like, please describe what is critical race theory. Every time they'll be like, it's communism, it's Marxism, it's fascism, it's socialism, it's liberalism, it's all the isms basically.
Second Amendment, erosion of election integrity are all intentionally designed to destroy all we hold near and dear. Missouri is not and must never become a socialist state.
Missouri.
You can count on me to defend our God-given constitutional rights as I've been defending them for
one constitution.
over 40 years. Your right to keep and bear arms, freedom of speech, to own and defend your own private property, and all the constitutional and God-given rights will be safe with me. Missouri needs bold politicians who can stand up to the fury.
I found out why there's a national gas shortage. This guy is hoarding gasoline on his own property.
Of the lefts and Marxists. Somebody who won't run or hide or quit when the going gets tough. I promise you, I will never stop fighting for you. This is why I've traveled through our great...
Hey, bro, let's go shoot a campaign ad. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm just going to Google populism and make a video about that.
State and this country as a spokesperson for President Trump. Missouri represents the best of America.
Trump's campaign was like, hey, you, bro, the guy who held the gun at the protesters, you know, the peaceful protesters, that guy, we want you. We need you on our team because we need to make it clear whose side we are on. We are not on their side. We need...
We are hardworking, good-spirited, God-fearing people with a drive to succeed. We are farmers, small business owners.
We are farmers. Moms
and dads, patriots, and we will fight together for our God-given freedoms. My name is Mark McCloskey. I will defend the people of Missouri. You have my word. I will never back down.
Dramatic walk back to the truck. Oh yeah, baby. Nice horse. I wonder if he has a chance. U.S. Senate, not even state Senate. He's going for that national attention. You didn't fight, you just stood there and got mad at nothing. After a false report to local law enforcement, 10 police stormed to my door, confiscated my firearm without any probable cause or exigent circumstances. Okay, that's a random message. There they are. Which one do you want to shoot first? I don't know. I already said this is Walmart brand Ozark. Anybody ever see Ozark? Ozark, Netflix. Images. I recommend this show. It's pretty good. But here. Walmart brand Ozark. Can you see it? Marty Bird and whatever her name is, I forget. That's what they are. There they are. Oh no. Cool. If you are chilling here right now, please consider dropping a like, hitting subscribe, becoming a channel member for 99 cents a month, and following my Twitter. I'm gonna put my Twitter in the things. Follow me on Twitter, please. I need it. Conservative group launches ad campaign against woke capitalism. What's this? No. Stop. Conservative group launches ad campaign against woke capitalism, targeting CIA by name. What's in it for you? Good tweets. Conservative group launches ad campaign against woke capitalism, targeting CEOs by name. The ads criticize American Airlines CEO Doug Parker for his high pay time. Pay at time of layoffs. Oh boy, populism, baby. So cool. That's awesome. If a progressive group has an ad campaign against corporations, it's always about like actual issues, not against woke capitalism. It's kind of funny. Who followed me? Nobody. Damn. Wow, that's disappointing. Katie Porter's district is interesting. It went from hard red to purple, leaning blue. Okay, I was gonna make another. What else was I gonna talk about here? All right, give me recommendations. Does anybody know any fun videos to react to? React content. What's that one channel for fun videos? Jubilee. Hell yeah, someone followed me. Who did it? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Connor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, any recommendations here? Does anybody want to call in? Anybody want to talk? Anybody want to have a chat? Pac-Man charity drama. I looked over that. Let's see. Nope, nothing on Jubilee. What about Cut? Keanu Reeves movie for Connor. Sigma male.
What's the best?
Oh. This isn't good either. Did Kyle Kalinske say anything dumb lately? That could always be fun. Apparently Pac-Man isn't pro-Israel since when? CNN host. Did the interview drop with Tucker Carlson yet? And McCloskey? That can be fun. Will Smith is trending. The New York State Attorney General investigation into the Trump org is no longer purely civil. We are now actively investigating the Trump organization in a criminal capacity along with Manhattan DA, Manhattan, along with Manhattan, a spokesman told CNN. What is this about? Criminal investigation. Who has the details? Pac-Man. I don't play Pac-Man. What the hell? The New York What's the opinions on the mask mandates nowadays? Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order that prohibits governmental entities in the state, such as school districts and public health authorities, from mandating masks. So no government entity can do this. So schools and all that stuff, right? I hate Greg Abbott. Cool. What did Cinema do? How Dems can force Cinema and Manchin to shut up? Senator Kristen Sinema is confused. At a private caucus meeting last week, she pointedly asked Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer why Democrats can't overcome Republican opposition to the major ethics and voting rights reforms that Joe Biden promised to voters, and that over 60% of Americans across party lines support it. But Sinema wasn't. Oh my God! Imagine if she might be dumb. I mean, she might just be dumb. There is a chance. But Sinema wasn't talking about the For the People Act that Schumer hopes to squeak through. She was referring to her own competing legislation. Biden, can we please get... Or wait. Chuck Schumer, can we please pass my bill? Not to be outdone, last week Senator Joe Manchin announced his own plan to address the GOP's nationwide war on voting rights. So he's not going to be with Schumer's bill either. Just members only. But that's kind of funny, actually, that she's a dumb person, individual.
Corporations and wealthy Americans. If you're making more than $400,000 a year, it's paid for by raising taxes on both corporate 100,000 percentage points. And that's how we're going to pay for this massive.
Wait, Mike from PA's reaction to Vaush's charity stream. Where is that? Where can I find that? Oh my god, I hate Mike from PA. If I search up Mike from PA, will I find it? Mike from PA. I want to live interview him in person. I want to go out to dinner with him. Mike from PA doesn't know. Ooh, shots fired. If any large content creator who thinks I am deranged or just spiteful in regards to my Israel/Palestine takes, feel free to reach out for a convo. The serfs, Vaush. Dude, please, I want this to happen for the content. That'd be good content. It just would. What's this? Mike from PA. What's a tiff? You don't know anything about politics. You don't know anything about politics. Many judicial candidates endorsed by progressive groups who ran on currently ahead. Larry Krashner's ahead. That's good. Okay, now I want to see what's going on here. Where is... The Cabernacle's pretty cool. I mean, at least he's getting platform somewhere. I like the Cabernacle. I don't know if him and Mike from PA agree on that much, though. As far as it goes with, like, talking to actual other human beings. In a way that's not, like, completely beta. Does anybody have a link to the Mike from PA tweets? Here. Oh, shit. Does anybody want to call in on the Discord? Leave my boy Mike from PA alone. No, I don't like him. He's probably cool enough in person. His online personality, though, is terrible. Whatever character he decided to put on at his online conception is not to my liking. Is there a new, like... Here, I'll put on a video game and watch the new video. That's what the cool streamers do, right? What is the topics you want to discuss? I don't care. Where is it? Where are you? There you go. How's everybody's day? I'm getting... My phone's blowing up right now. My phone? I get no messages all day. And then I decide to go on here. Talk to you people. Starts going crazy. Gaming. Here, if I add another monitor screen... You kind of feel bad for him? No, I think it's purposeful. Don't feel bad. This is how you grow a big platform. You do stuff like that. You make a name for yourself by making sure you're heard.
Today's
ABBA and Preach. Not covering Palestine. Captain Yeet, you gotta move. All right, I'm bringing you in here. Whoa. Hello? Okay.
What's up, man? Throw me in this car ball, bro. I'm online.
I can't. I gotta do some comp real quick.
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, what rank are you?
Gold?
Oh, no. What the
Yeah,
heck? What are you talking about?
hey, man, I throw some good, mean rumble down.
Oh, we could play sometime.
Yeah, you can do your comp though. What sort of topics were you feeling to discuss? You want to go over like Vaush? You want to go over like Palestine? I can anti-nuclear pill you.
Anti-nuclear? Why anti-nuclear?
So I've laid out this topic so many times. I always feel like I kind of bluster. So I gotta work on being more rhetorically effective. But so when we think about renewable energy, green energy, there's obviously lots of like things that pop into our head. With some of those things, my argument is that some of it is not really a good solution and not really renewable in the terms that we know what renewable is. So specifically with like nuclear, there's a lot of mining involved. You have to build nuclear power plants, build refinement plants to refine the mined ore. Obviously, there's the low level and high level byproducts that usually end up in BIPOC communities because, you know, they don't end up in my backyard. I'm from one of the wealthiest fucking neighborhoods in America. I don't have a nuclear. Yeah, exactly. So usually these nuclear waste dumps land in much different and usually common areas and not my backyard. So if a nuclear power plant, for example, Indian Point, which is Buchanan, New York, if you know where that is.
No, I don't, but okay.
So it's a little away from New York City, but that recently got decommissioned, right? There's a reason why that plant gets decommissioned while other plants are kind of staying running. It's because it was close to more wealthy neighborhoods, and nuclear usually is kind of it's a big thing. It puts out a lot of pollution around it. I'm sorry, there's lots of different topics. People usually think it's like, oh, it's zero carbon emissions with the actual nuclear fusion process, but it's relatively dirty in terms of what they need to do to the rods before they can actually use them. And then you have spent fuel rods that end up in spent fuel pools that remain on site. So you have massive nuclear, just like a Olympic pool filled with high-level nuclear waste, with incredibly high-level nuclear waste water that needs to be filtered out, usually by a nearby lake. That was the Hudson River for Indian Point. So it's a really messy form of green energy.
Well, one of the big things that's good about it is the amount of land that's required for it isn't nearly as high as what's needed for solar panels and wind energy and even pipelines and stuff like that.
But you need a body of water.
That's the sketchy part. Where you can
need
actually
a body of water
build it.
that you will. I'm sorry.
No, like what I would want to look at is, and I doubt this would even be possible, but ideally you'd find water that isn't good already. You know what I mean? Like it isn't like the best.
This sounds like green energy
already. No, I'm saying like if you had to build a nuclear plant somewhere and you needed a body of water, you would
Why would we
ideally
have to
build it
a
somewhere.
nuclear power plant?
I don't know if you want to do
Exactly. I
more.
think what I'm arguing is we need wind farms, we need hydroelectric dams, we need solar farms, and those three things are linked up, and that's green energy.
Well, I agree too, but if you want to get fossil fuel off the grid, then you're going to need something else that provides a lot of energy in short doses, if that, to really kick it off. And I know like ExxonMobil is making a big lobbying push right now. They're actually going down to, I forget what state it's in. It might be Texas. I don't know, but they're proposing new carbon capture technology. So they're going to be making a big push.
I'm sorry. So go ahead.
No, you go.
It's these things: nuclear energy, carbon capture technology. I heard Vaush mention cloud seeding at one point. These things are all like, essentially, it's just the private industry, private sector's way of cashing in on green energy. Obviously, wind turbines, massive power battery cells for a solar panel. Those things are not really made by mom and pop shops, but nuclear energy and carbon capture technology, these things are highly specialized, highly proprietary technologies that are only controlled by these big power energy giants like Exelon, Holtec. Those are the main ones in nuclear, and then obviously the gas and other ones.
Yeah, my teammate sucks. I hate my teammate. I'm doing bad. Never mind. I'm the bad teammate. But the only thing that is the issue, like I said, is the actual land needed to do this. Now, I don't want to go to nuclear, but if that's a tool that can be used, there's no. Oh, my teammate left me. That's how bad I am. If that was a tool that could be used,
yeah,
to
no, I think you're
disenfranchise
right.
like oil and gas
And honestly, I never really thought about it like that. How like a nuclear power plant is kind of succinct. It's just this one kind of unit that you can pop into a nearby an area, while as solar farms or wind turbine fields are take up space. Whereas I think that I would counter with, well, fuck nuclear. How about should I not curse? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Get
I
rid of
don't care.
nuclear. Get rid of nuclear. We can just retrofit all of our cities, all of our existing infrastructure, all of our street lights with solar panels. So we don't really need to build a nuclear power plant that will make high level and low level nuclear waste that will probably end up in BIPOC communities on the southern border, which we already know is currently happening
Didn't
with
Bernie
nuclear
Sanders
waste.
support a plan like that?
I'm sorry?
Didn't Bernie Sanders get in trouble for a plan like that? Like he voted to dump nuclear waste down by the border or something?
All nuclear waste ends up down by the border. I don't really know specifically what you're mentioning, but it's always since the Manhattan Project, we have not known what the fuck to do with nuclear waste, and all of this. The sun does nuclear fission and we do nuclear fusion on Earth. I always get those two things mixed up. But whatever the one we don't do is, the theoretical one that the sun does, which in theory would produce no nuclear waste, none of that exists off paper. None of that. We've never really made any of those reactors that are real. All of it's just theoretical. So we have to address, or you, since I guess I'm arguing against you, you need to address why all this nuclear waste is a necessary byproduct.
Well, I just don't know. I feel like we could find like a relative externality cost for both gas and nuclear. Like I don't know what the measurement would be
natural
for energy,
gas.
but
Natural gas is widely used, and I think it kind of addresses what you were mentioning before about like, well, in this transitionary period to our beautiful communist space utopia where it's 100% renewables, we're going to need something. And you felt like nuclear could kind of pose as that. I think existing things already do that for that transitionary period, such as natural gas.
well, I'm looking at like anything that could also. This is another argument for it. Anything that ties or cuts America off from global crude oil prices. So if there's a big shortage globally or whatever, if America has nuclear plants, although it's not, might not be ideal, I guess, or whatever.
Nuclear technology is relatively proprietary in America, but it's just. I would argue, yes, I agree. We need to do that, and the beautiful trifecta of power grids linked up through hydroelectric, wind farms, and solar farms is how we do that.
But that's the only issue is that's gonna take a long time to do. Like, have you ever seen the map for how much is gonna be needed of each program, or like solar and all that stuff?
No, please fill me in.
I could try to find it really quick before I hop off here, but yeah, let me see if I could Google this quick.
If money is your issue, it's hilarious that you're talking about nuclear because it's 100% subsidized by
it's
taxpayers.
not money. It's
So
about
expensive.
how productive a nuclear plant is versus 1,000 miles of solar panels.
Well, yeah, it would be integrated across the entire U.S. coast to
That's
coast.
the thing. Yeah, it's going to take a long, long time to get to that point. So if we needed something right now to give us more energy independence, as they say about oil,
We don't need that. We already have a good energy independence from our natural gas. Like we're sitting in it for now. If you look at how much, like almost every house in some parts of the country are just like completely off the reliance grid because of their natural gas consumption. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know my house is 100%.
I can't find the exact map.
Can you give me an idea? I can try to prowl the internet because I'm curious about what you're talking about.
Oh, here was the one. Here was the one map. I'm gonna put it on the screen really quick.
Do it.
All right, it's up there. It says like how much would be needed from gasoline. This is like the general map they give. This isn't the one I'm talking about, but this is the sort of map they'll give you with like I think for solar panels, if we wanted to power the entire nation with solar panels, you'd have to cover up like all of Texas, I guess, or something like that.
But we're not going to power the entire nation with solar panels. We're going to use our coasts for hydroelectric plants as well as rivers. We can use wind turbines in fields. A lot of the inland of this beautiful map, I know it's windy. And where I am and where you are, northeast, we could use a lot of solar. I know we get sun. We get a bunch of sun. Also, the coast. It's these three things linked together. I think can adequately fill our energy needs. And nuclear, I think, is a terrible way to go because of all the risks involved. Not to mention nuclear meltdowns, to even mention in this conversation.
Oh wait, here. So as you go down this list, they add. Okay, so right here, they show. Is this what we're at right now? And this is what it would be if we reduced oil and gas. You see what I mean? Wind farms take up a lot more than solar panels, right? For the production it gives, and it's harder to do.
Harder to do? You mean building? Not
like
necessarily.
You could
Actually, it's relatively cheap.
No, I'm saying like you could relatively build solar panels basically anywhere.
Yeah, you could retrofit the entire nation with solar panels, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm looking at right now in Pennsylvania for Pennsylvania policy reasons, how we can do a really strong. I like what Texas does with their solar tax credit, their solar panel tax credit. It makes buying solar panels really cheap. If you implement solar panels to your house, you're going to save $4,000 the first year because after the federal credits and the state credits, it makes a lot of sense for
we need to subsidize
them to do that. Yeah, I want every house. I want it to be like, hey, American, if you own a property and you put 50 square feet of solar paneling on there, then you're going to save $4,000 this year. I think that needs to be the incentive.
So you're on the right track. And this is what I'm more closely, people that want to build houses. If you want to build a house, you need to throw a solar panel on that, or so-and-so green evac systems. Go on.
Yeah, and if it's if there's proof that it works too, they shouldn't have any issues with that.
HVAC.
That should be a regulation people actually like if they're installing, and that could be you could make private businesses for that too. They could. It would probably be private businesses doing it, right?
This is why nuclear isn't the option, because nuclear is so specialized, so off limits for the general population. It's just massive industries that have the capability to finance building a nuclear power plant, finance nuclear mining process, refinery process, transportation, which is another huge topic, because how do you transport something that is a dirty bomb? So it's hard to do.
What about the batteries? Synergy said. Well, that's one argument for making all of America like the global leader for this stuff, I guess. If we, because China needs it really bad, like renewable energy. So if the U.S. funded a lot of research for like a special kind of solar panel that costs like nothing and is super effective at capturing energy or whatever, then the U.S. can use that as like a bargaining piece for the rest of the world. I think right now France and Germany are, I think they are on top when it comes to green energy, at least when it
Yeah,
comes to their positioning to benefit in the
absolutely.
short
And
term.
China's killing it with tech. Unfortunately, we're getting our asses kicked. Like
And it's
this is
just a
something
matter
that
of
we could really.
investment. Like if you invest in it, you're probably gonna. If you're a first world country and you decide to put money towards it, you're probably gonna be pretty successful. But you need you need the political will behind it, which is the issue.
Absolutely,
Even conservative
absolutely.
parties in France and Germany are going to be for doing this green energy thing because they aren't caught up in the same way we are with our ideological weirdness in America.
France is some for you since I think I'm kind of blustering a little bit here on my anti-nuclear pill here, but look into France and their very robust nuclear industry and how not great. Like it's France is very specific because they're a tiny country and it's not really a good like reference point. But these nuclear industries are all in bed with the nuclear regulatory committees that regulate their industry because it's so specialized. It's so off limits to the layman, and even politicians don't really know what the fuck's going on when it comes to nuclear energy and nuclear power production and nuclear regulatory committees kind of shit. So it's really a there's a bunch of bugs under that rock, and I know I gotta disclose. Like my mom's an environmentalist. I'm coming from a place of just affinity. Like she works specifically with a bunch of little organizations and stuff with her little retired friends. They're all just like post professional. She was a lawyer when she was younger. All of that kind of stuff, and now they work to fight the Nuclear Regulatory Committee, which is the NRC that controls nuclear energy in America, and it's a bad industry with a lot of corruption, and it's the exact same with France because they invested a lot in nuclear power.
Yeah, well, like Charles said, he has some issues with energy companies and everything. So yeah,
Yep,
you
they
need
suck, bro.
politicians who are going to be willing to at least bring that to light. Like, hey, this is a good
Hell yeah.
solution. They're preventing this from happening, and all that
Energy
stuff.
companies blow. They're some of the evilest, most like if you're into utilitarianism, energy companies are some of the real baddies. And wind, solar, hydroelectric kind of gets them a little less out of the picture because those things can kind of be owned by municipalities more than a nuclear power plant.
Yeah. This needs to happen locally, though, I think. This needs to be pressured at local levels of politics where things aren't controlled by like theatrics as much, like state level and everything. If you show enough people in a small state that this thing can work, and I don't know, in like Iowa, if you can get it done in Iowa, then that can be a catalyst for it. But it's really difficult for Bernie Sanders or AOC because national politics is literally like, are you pro BLM or anti BLM? Are you pro culture war, or what side of the culture war are you on? Or like none of it's on actual policy. People don't care that much about that,
of course,
because they get distracted. So it needs to happen with local politics. So that means people need to pay attention to their state elections, their city councils. Even there's a lot of like locally ran solar farms across Pennsylvania in the farming areas, but that needs to be happening even more. Like there's these huge fields, and nobody ever visits these parts of the country, but the politicians and everything from these areas are like, if you put solar panels in, it's gonna hurt our tourism. I'm like, dude, what tourism? What, the people that are gonna be coming in to watch corn grow or whatever? But yeah,
or neighborhood committees that don't allow you to do it because they're like, nah, just no,
yeah,
not allowed.
Well, this is a state where everywhere you turn in the central part of our state, there's going to be an abandoned mine shaft with a bunch of sinkholes that go down like 500 feet into the ground, a bunch of, dirty water that's filled with sulfur, contaminated. It can never be cleaned. These areas are falling apart. All these old coal companies, all the old gas companies, a bunch of electrical plants and all that stuff. People live around this their entire lives, and then they believe propaganda from like Trump when Trump says solar panels and windmills are ugly. Like, are you kidding me? Look up any picture of like freaking the coal areas.
Oh, they're beautiful. Solar panels and wind turbines are so cool to look at.
But compare it to what's in America right now, and people like, oh my god, it's not even logical to what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I appreciate you having me on. I'll hop off. I don't want to take up too much airtime.
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream soon. I got enough content for today, I guess.
Hey, dude, you've been really killing it recently, man. I've been watching you for a minute, and like God, keep it up, bro. I know when you took off a little bit, took some of the steam out. The algorithm's really a hoe, and I'm sorry about that, but just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'll well, thank you for liking it, and thank you for the compliment. I'll continue to do it for at least another year. I don't know if it'll go past that, but yeah, hopefully it grows by then so I can keep doing it.
Hey man,
doing
and listen, bro, like it takes up time to get these algorithms up, and it just don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Just
It'll
keep
get to
doing
the
it for
point
the sake
like
of doing it.
I'll do it for yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it for fun. But as far as like doing 4 streams a week or 5 or whatever, uh, like after next year, I'm probably not gonna be able to keep doing that. I'll still make videos every once in a while, but we'll see how it goes. You never know what'll happen. You never know if Vaush will platform me someday. Finally, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
You
thanks
really
for the.
should, bro, because you have real political ambitions.
Hey,
I've heard you
no,
talk about that.
we should just platform the Marxist and stuff. That just read theory and make video essays.
Hey,
That's
I'm
cool.
a
That's cool.
socialist who's a grad
cool.
student about to submit my master's, and it's all about radical shit, bro. So
Yeah, well, that's what I'll be doing. Because once you get into these internships at the end of your like college career, because I'm going
Yep.
into because I'll be taking like joint like master's courses, and I need to do a really involved internship too. I'm gonna be literally exhausted 24/7.
Yeah, dude.
I don't have time
I
to
can't-
edit
I
videos,
can't
and
imagine.
I'm not like born. I wasn't born with like a lot of money like a lot of these content creators are, so I can't like hire like an editor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have like parents to send me like money for that or whatever. So
Well,
like
yeah,
it's
that's why
difficult.
you should become more of a base socialist, and then someone will probably like be like, oh yeah, like
I
we the
should
people will
LARP.
edit for you.
I should LARP a little bit. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, really good luck with the masters, man. It really takes a lot of work, but I know you're clearly intelligent enough to
Good luck.
kick ass,
Good luck
bro.
with your graduate stuff too.
Oh yeah, I got a thesis to work on. Don't remind me.
Ow.
Peace.
Pain. All right. See. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and hanging out. Everybody have a good night. Here's the Discord again. If you're not in here, people talking there sometimes. I always see every message in Discord. Good night.